All right, so next we will head out to the co-op observation site. And this is a place that we actually take climatological weather observations every morning, right around 8 a.m. Let's take a look out here. So let's head out here into the co-op site. And we have several things going on out here. We'll touch on each one, each item here individually. So first, take a look here. Open this up, and we have several things going on here. The first actually is a thermometer that measures soil temperature, and we're going to take a look at that and see what the maximum and minimum temperature are. Let's tell here in this morning. This is morning here still in July, and the maximum soil temperature here was indicated in red, and it's about 95 degrees. So in the past 24 hours since the last time the observation was taken, it reached about 95 degrees Fahrenheit, and otherwise the lowest temperature there of the soil was about 89 degrees, maybe 88. It's also currently 88. So I'll come over here, and this is our rain gauge. And again, this is measured every 24 hours, so right around 8 a.m. this is always emptied. So we'll take a look in here. Of course, a typical day in July. This is usually empty unless we get a nice localized rain shower or something like that. So we reach in here, take a look in there, and this is usually what we see. And of course, it's empty. But after a big rain shower, of course, we usually see this full of something. And of course there, when we get, on the occasional time we actually get winter weather, we'll actually take this out, take this piece out here, and that way we can measure the snow just piling up here in the bucket, and then however much falls in there is usually how much snow that we've recorded. Let's put that back on there. Alright, next we'll come over here and take a look at the water temperature. Alright. It's a little bit hard to see here with the early morning sunshine, but we'll take a look at the maximum and minimum temperature. So currently it's 75. And the highest was about 96 degrees. Take it again for the minimum temperature. The lowest was about 75. We actually rounded off to the nearest whole number. So that tells us there too, it got pretty warm here as well. And you're probably wondering what this giant tank is here. This is actually what we call the evaporation tank, or the evaporation pan. And this actually measures the amount of evaporation that's actually taken place in the past 24 hours. And that can usually be dependent on things like the amount of sunshine, the amount of wind, and of course whether or not it has rained. And of course if we've gotten any rainfall, that's going to affect, of course, how much evaporation has taken place. So what we actually do is we zero this out every morning. You can probably hear the sound of an airplane taking off behind me, so pardon me for that. We actually take a look here in the center, and it's a little hard to see, but we actually need to try to get the water level to the top of that needle there. And as you can tell, in the past 24 hours it's gotten lower because of the amount of evaporation that's taking place. So what we actually do here, and it's going to take a while to do, so we're not actually going to demonstrate this here, is actually get water into this bucket here, and we fill it up, pour it into the evaporation pan until the water level reaches the top of the needle there, excuse me. And this way we can tell how much evaporation has taken place. And during the summertime here, when we can get a lot of evaporation taking place, it can take as much as easily half inch or even close to about 3/4 of an inch of water to recover how much we've lost. During the wintertime, that's not nearly as much, and of course when it has rain, that does make it a little bit harder. In fact, when it rains quite a bit, we've had very little evaporation, we actually have to take water out. So that gets a little more interesting. It could certainly be messy for sure. All right, last thing we'll take a look at here in the co-op observation site is we call, this is what is typically an anemometer here. This one measures things a little bit differently though than your typical anemometer. Usually we'd see that measuring wind speed and direction. This one is measuring wind speed, but what it's actually measuring here, it's going to be a little bit hard to see again, is how much miles of wind has actually taken place. So this is actually a number we do not reset. It's just how much has passed by the anemometer, and this way we can see how much air has passed by. We actually compare that to what's happened the previous day, and that way we can see the difference and see how much airflow has passed by the site.